Welcome to the WCW Nitro Podcast. I'm your host. I'm the Notorious when I am Dom. I'm here with my man all the way down in Delaware. I'm here with BDC. Brian, what's going on, bro? How you doing?
Yo, I'm good, man. I'm good. It has been an eventful week.
I feel you, man.
Indeed, it has. I'm going to take a minute before we really get started to throw some condolences out there to a true wrestling icon and a baseball icon too, and Bob Eucher, because passed away.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, last week into the weekend, and that one kind of stung a bit because while he was baseball futility as far as a player, the dude was an absolute legend in everything else he did, especially when it came to comedy. And had his fair share of time within WWE and wrestling as a whole. So yeah, figured it was perfect to add him to the start of this podcast. So he's gonna be missed, especially by those in Milwaukee and his fans, whether it be baseball and wrestling around the world.
That's right. R.I.P. Uke, definitely be missed.
Yep.
Definitely gonna miss you. Seeing you in Major League, the movie with Charlie Sheen. He was hilarious. Hilarious.
Because you're gonna need a rocket up his ass to catch one.
That's it, man. All right, well, let's get into Nitro. We're gonna take it back to September 25th, 1995.
Yes,
we
sir.
have Eric Bischoff, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Steve Mongo McMichael. And this is the second week. I don't know where we're at. Do you know what's the venue this week?
Yep. We are. Monday Nitro was filmed live from the Florence Civic Center in Florence, South Carolina.
Okay, so they're taking it down south. But I wonder why they're not advertising, where they're going to be next week or this current week.
It's weird because they made sure that you knew the first week.
Mm-hmm. The first 2 weeks.
They made sure you knew where it was going to be and everything that first week, where it was coming from. The next week, they kind of just let you know the city. They let you know it was in Miami. I think it was Miami.
It was Miami.
And then last week, they didn't even let you know. Ric Flair let you know that it was in Johnson City, Tennessee. And if I'm not mistaken, they don't really mention Florence at all.
They don't.
They don't mention it at all. So I don't know. But
all right, well, our opening match, we kick it off with Alex Wright taking on the Disco Inferno. We got some dancing fools in the ring right here. And Alex Wright, he's the babyface. Disco Inferno, he's making his first appearance in WCW. And Disco, he kicks off the match. He's attacking Alex Wright. And, he looked aggressive. He was doing the damn thing. And then he's going to start showboating, focusing on the hair.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the strut, doing the dance. Then after this, we see Alex Wright turn the match around, get a little offense. And it was decent.
Yeah.
Nothing special. It got the crowd excited for the first match, but Alex Wright, he won with the backslide.
Yeah. I mean, and not for anything, Disco almost killed him. He went for a belly to belly, which turned into I'm just gonna throw your neck on the rope. And I don't know what happened there. I'm just looking. I'm like, dude, this is your first match, and that's what you pulled. Oh wow. But yeah, it was a okay first match. I mean, if we go back through the matches that they've had for up first in the last 3 episodes, like this one's definitely the worst of them all. And I mean, once again, Alex Wright, he was being pushed at that time. They were really trying to give him a good send-off. Disco Inferno was a kind of a setback. I mean, you're talking about this guy was he was facing some pretty decent competition in his first couple of weeks that he's been on the show, and then Disco just he was okay. He wasn't great.
He didn't really
definitely didn't
show
give him a chance to really showcase much of anything.
Yeah, he didn't show much of anything, but Disco at this time, he was just starting out, and he was a good hand for WCW.
Yep. Yep, indeed.
What do you think about the match?
And like I said, it was okay. It was nothing great, and as I said, especially with the first matches that they up to this point they've run, and literally how they've run the first several minutes of the show, it was like we're gonna go get straight to business, and straight to business wasn't all that great. So it felt light compared to previous weeks to me.
Yeah. So at this time, this is our fourth show.
Yep.
Of Nitro. This is our basically a month, and they're still trying to figure out what to do. You know, the very first show they kicked off with Jushin Thunder Liger and Flying Brian Pillman. Okay, got some cruiserweights. Yep. It's pretty good, and I can't remember who the other opening matches were, but they're still playing around. They're still, trying to figure things out right quick.
I mean, if you remember the previous show, last week's show was Fallout from Fall Brawl, so really the first match didn't really take place right away. They went straight into the opening segment was a promo talking about Fall Brawl. So they ran off of the excitement of Fall Brawl going into the next night. First match took some time to get out there, and then what was it? It was the males versus the Heat, the Harlem Heat. So it's just this week it just really felt like they just wanted to get straight to business, which wasn't really their formula the first couple of weeks, and it fell flat.
Yeah, it definitely did.
It fell flat.
All right, well, after this, we see the return of Hulk Hogan. He's backstage with Jimmy Hart, and he's wearing a neck brace, and he's working out his neck. Jimmy had the belt on the back of his neck, and Hogan showing that, pause, his neck is still strong. So, and Hogan, he cuts a promo. He said he thought he was a goner, but he's building a bigger monster truck, and he's going to put the title on the line. And in Detroit, he's going to pin the Giant just like he was his daddy in the same ring.
Yeah, it really went left quick for me, because it was like literally, like he's talking about his neck, which he got what I call the bottle cap done on him, where he was just like trying to take his head off.
They should bring that.
And out last week, he's back here, and all he's doing is talking about the big nasty stinky Giant and how the Giant tried to take him out. And then he talks about the monster trucks, which I'm like, okay, I forgot that they did have this monster truck v monster truck thing, and he built the Hulkamania monster truck and all this nonsense. We're gonna have a monster truck battle, and then we're gonna have a match. Okay, but yeah, I mean, it basically was trying to hype up the fact that they were gonna have this twofer, and try to get people excited to see monster trucks, because that was kind of a thing back in mid-90s. Monster trucks were kind of at their peak at that time, where everybody wanted to see somebody in a monster truck. And then it was like they talked the match, which basically was your basic promo. I'm going to slay the Giant, and once again throwing in the fact that he's going to lay him next to his father. And but it was basic. It was basic.
That's all it was. Well,
it was basic.
After this, we see Mean Gene Okerlund in the ring. He is showing footage of Lex Luger and Randy Savage last week in the ring. Mm-hmm. And then Macho Man, he's in the ring. And then Luger, he comes sprinting down to the ring. And Lex Luger says that next week he's going to challenge the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And if he loses, he's going to leave WCW. Yep, and Macho Man said, "You got a deal, brother."
Yep, and not only did he put his career on the line, he also put his number one contendership spot for his title shot on the line as well. And I thought that it was really interesting that he was going full bore this quick. But you know, Lex was trying to prove something. You know, he just. I mean, whoever was doing the writing, they made it a point to make sure that if Lex Luger was in this angle for all 6 years of Nitro, he was going to keep talking about he did not want to play with kids anymore. Brother, we get it. You don't want to play with kids anymore.
He made sure
you
that for the past 3 weeks already.
Kids that are not your own. Dude, what the fuck? Anyway, you know, he's like, I don't want to play with kids. I want to play with the big boys. Well, aren't big boys kids too? Anyway, but he, you know, he called out Macho, talking about, you know, he didn't have respect. He talked about when he fought Hogan after the match, there was respect. You know, he fought Sting back in the day, and after that, there was respect, and that he didn't feel as though there was any respect with Macho Man. I mean, well, Macho did kind of smack him straight in the mush last week, so I guess I can understand why he would think that. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's promo boosting up this match between Luger and Macho for the #1 contendership and Lex Luger's trial run at WCW for it to either continue or end. And while not as basic as the first one, it was basic again. It didn't really rah-rah the crowd a little bit, but it didn't really get the juices flowing, so to speak. Yeah. It just felt like, again, we're putting on a match that at this point you've pretty much figured they're not going to have Lex Luger in WCW for only a month, so you pretty much know at this point Lex Luger's going to win. But then again, at that point, I'm 20, 21, so I don't know that yet. So,
come on now, Lex Luger just jumped ship a month ago. You think he's really gonna leave?
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I said at that point I'm 20, so I don't know. But now, you know, knowing better, he wasn't. You knew some way he was gonna win that. He was gonna keep that. He was gonna keep that. So, but like I said, it was okay. It didn't have it didn't have, as the Rock said, it didn't have the goosebumps popping up or anything like that. No. But then again, when it comes to Lex Luger, there was not a whole lot of times where he's ever done anything that made the goosebumps pop.
I take that back. The only thing that he probably did was when he won the World Heavyweight Championship with Hogan on Nitro.
Well,
and that was short-lived.
Listen. It's funny that you mentioned that because I saw a clip of that not too long ago. And the first thing I thought when I saw it, I was like, oh, well, okay, yeah, cool. He racked him and he got him to submit. And then he started running around the ring like a schoolgirl and jumps up on the ropes. And then he's all excited, and then he does his best Ron Simmons impersonation in the middle of the ring, you know, just... And I'm like, okay, so clearly he watched some footage of somebody doing something and figured that would be the way to go. It's like, okay, yeah, well, all right.
If you re-watch it again, our favorite referee since we watched in this past month, Pee Wee Anderson, like he is so hyped up right now. Like he's so hyped. Like wow, Luger just won. He beat the NWO. Like yeah, you definitely gotta check that out, man.
You know that is a conversation for another time because when it comes to WCW referees, when they're doing their excited thing, it is hilarious. Because yeah, you say like Randy Anderson has this, and I remember Little Nate when this something's going on with him, he was like. It's like they all have their own little I'm excited thing.
Yeah.
And so now I'm gonna have to go back, watch that clip and roll.
Randy Anderson, he was hilarious, man. Oh my god. Pulling Hogan's hair, next thing you know, he's excited.
Pulling Hogan's hair, getting thrown. Yep. Yep.
All right, well, our next match of Nitro, we have Kurosawa with Colonel Robert Parker taking on the Pitbull, Sergeant Craig Pittman. Yep. And I believe Pittman, he was the dude who was running the WCW Thunder Plant, right?
Oh, the power plant? Yeah.
Power plant.
I think so. I think he was. And it's funny, I didn't remember him till I saw him. Because I heard the name, I'm like, yeah. But when I saw him come out, I was like, oh, yeah.
Remember that mug?
That guy.
Yeah. Oh, my God. It was like, this match should have been on, like, Saturday night. WCW Saturday night. That's what it should have been on. But, yeah. And it was funny because of the commentary. Bobby the Brain Heenan, he said, these guys naturally don't like each other. What was Bobby referencing to?
I have no idea.
About how America and the Japanese back in the day?
Listen, I will say this. The commentary seemed off.
Oh, yeah.
Up to this point, the commentary, because, like, you know, there was like a flow to the commentary the first couple of episodes. The commentary was really off on this episode. It just seemed like it just seemed like Mongo and the Brain couldn't find it. They couldn't find their rhythm. And you just had Eric up the middle just making sure that everything you knew what was going on in the ring and stuff like that. Yeah. But it was like those two were trying to bounce off each other and they kept missing each other the entire night.
I feel like it was just more Mongo trying to, get on Bobby, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, it did not. It did not. Yeah, and one of the things that really made me laugh was how they were like, Pittman's being dominated. I'm like, really? Like,
not really.
Outside of Kurosawa, like kind of throwing him around outside of the ring, I would not call that a dominant performance.
Cause Pittman, he was strong. He was showing his strength, and once they went outside, Kurosawa pulled up the ring mat, and then he slammed on the concrete. And then he started working on Pittman's shoulder.
But even after that, Pittman still was pulling in offense. Now, don't get me wrong. I do firmly believe that he went about 8 headbutts too many. Because every time I turned around, he was doing a flying headbutt at him. I'm like, oh, okay. But I mean, it was not the domination that they made it out to be. It certainly was not.
Yeah. But Pittman sure did look strong, and he got the win with a German suplex.
Yep.
No, I take that back.
It was Kurosawa.
Kurosawa got the win with a German suplex.
He got the win. Yep. And again, another victory by a very standard wrestling hold.
It was believable back in the 90s.
This is right now we're on the no finishers league. So. But, I mean, and the one thing I will say is Kurosawa was, I didn't realize that he was that big and that he was...
He was a big dude, yeah. He was a decent-sized dude.
I forgot about that. I was like, that dude is a pretty big dude.
Yeah.
He's a pretty big dude. Didn't know what the hell he was doing in the ring, but he was a pretty big dude.
Yeah. I had to look him up to see if he's still around. He had a lengthy career in New Japan, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, well, after this.
I didn't have much.
Yeah. Well, after this, we see Mean Gene Okerlund back in the ring. He has flying Brian Pillman and Arn Anderson.
Yep.
And Brian Pillman, he gets on the microphone. He says, while the Nature Boy Ric Flair is looking for a partner, him and Double A, Arn Anderson, are looking to assemble. And he throws up the Four Horsemen sign. Mm-hmm. So, he's trying to get the Horsemen back together, trying to get the band back together.
Yep.
Without him, but you already know what happens. Yeah. And then Arn Anderson said he knows how Ric Flair is, and, that he was the better man because he won that match. And if you want to exact revenge, remember the formula. They came up with the formula. You attack me, you attack all of us. What goes around comes around. And he said, you remember you attacked Randy Savage, Randy Paffo's dad? Mm-hmm. And now you asking to be your partner? Sting with the Four Horsemen? Mm-hmm. You attacked him 4 years ago? Mm-hmm. And you asking to be your partner? Mm-hmm. Basically, that's karma, brother.
Yep.
That's what it is.
And you know, we use this term now with a lot of what goes on in WWE, but that's what we call long-term storytelling.
Yes.
That is long-term storytelling. Really just throw it all out there. It's like, look, you did these folks dirty. You don't really expect them to be getting on a match with you now, do you?
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yep.
Well, after this, they show a video package of the rivalry between the Taskmaster and Macho Man, and we seen last week how Macho Man was randomly on the beach lifting weights, and the Taskmaster in full getup.
They watched it.
Yeah, Taskmaster in full getup just took him out with the the weights.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it brings us to tonight. We have the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, taking on the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and it was pretty interesting. We see the Zodiac, the former Brutus the Barber Beefcake. He's outside interfering, and then of course, the Taskmaster. He's just gonna take advantage.
And we'll just note that Brutus the Barber Beefcake, that the Zodiac is still wearing some of the old Brutus the Barber Beefcake attire.
Yeah.
He like literally just took the ring attire from that and added face paint to it. But Zodiac was there doing some crazy thing like this in the beginning of the match, just standing there, not doing anything other than this. And I'm like, well, what is he doing? And they're having a conversation, like maybe they're discussing what they're going to do after the match is over, and then finally they was like, oh yeah, we do have a match we have to run, so let's go ahead and run it. But yeah, Zodiac gets involved early, and it doesn't look good early, and then Macho kind of overtakes, and as he's really starting to get his shots in, including, as again, some of the best damn punches in the business, Zodiac jumps back in, and Macho Man jumps all over him basically like white on rice. And then our boy, Randy Anderson, once again, because this dude just does not know how to just stay out of the fucking way, goes in, and he starts to wrap around Macho to try to get him to stop hitting somebody who's not even in the match. And Macho throws him, causing a disqualification.
Yep, so Macho Man, he snapped. He took out the Zodiac. Randy Anderson came out of nowhere trying to stop Macho Man. That ain't happening. After this, Macho Man, he sets up the Taskmaster and the Zodiac. He goes up for the elbow, and these guys are stacked like how Roman Reigns used to stack them back in the day.
Yep.
He goes for the elbow, and the Taskmaster moves, and he hit the Zodiac.
And Zodiac gets it full blast.
Full blast. Boom. After this, we see the Giant come down, and he choke slams Savage. And next you know, we see some no-name talents, Jim Powers and somebody else. They try to stop the Giant. The Giant, he takes both of them out.
Wait, I'm going to give you exactly what I put in notes for that. Giant comes out and choke slams Macho. Macho is then helped by a bunch of jobbers, followed by Alex Wright. And finally Lex Luger, and all gets choke slammed and destroyed. Because literally, that's exactly what happened. First, there's this guy, the first guy that comes out, and I thought they gave a name.
They did, but I couldn't catch
it.
But
I couldn't make it out. But then he was choke slammed. Then the next guy comes out.
Jim Powers. I think
Jim Powers comes out. Yep. And he gets maybe 2 more punches in before he gets choke slammed. Alex Wright comes out.
Top rope drop kick.
Or
he tried for a drop, it didn't work, and he caught him in the bear hug.
He caught it too. And then Lex Luger comes out chilling like he got all day. He came out like, yeah, I'm about to come out here and handle some business. And he caught that too. He caught that.
At first, he got in the ring. He was just staring at Macho Man and Kevin Sullivan. He just like, doing them Taskmaster laugh. And then the Giant, he just took over. And then he just clocked Luger. Luger clocks him, and then he gets choke slammed in the end. And you see Kevin Sullivan, he's pissed off. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
And him and the Giant go off, and it's just like, what happened? But it's like you're looking around. It's like, okay, you mean to tell me they had no one better to go out there?
Where was Sting?
You had nobody. I mean, first off, I'm assuming they wrestled the dark match because, damn it, where the hell did you get these Jim Powers and this other guy from? It's like where? It's like these are the guys you pick.
Are you trying to get a reaction?
The crowd is like this. They're like, meh. What do you expect?
Seriously.
You have people that nobody knows, and don't get me wrong, Jim Powers, he was a mid-carder, but he was one of the more popular mid-carders that WCW and WWE had at one point in time. Jimmy Powers was a guy that was popular, if not overly successful. He was popular. That other guy, though, I'm assuming he had to be Jim Powers' tag team partner because kind of they had on the same tights. So I'm gonna assume that they were tag team partners at that point in time, and I might have to look that up for another episode, or hell, maybe they might actually wrestle in a tag match, and then we could say, oh yeah, that's the guy that got chokeslammed by the Giant first. I don't know, but the dude, literally they basically served up lambs to the slaughter. And his name was the Giant, and he just basically destroyed everybody, and that's how it went.
Basically,
yeah, that's all it was.
Yep. Well, our main events is Lex Luger taking on Meng, and Lex Luger, he's still in the ring from getting chokeslammed from the Giant. He's trying to get up, trying to get himself back together. And then Meng, he comes sprinting down the ring. He takes advantage of Lex Luger, and he's choking him out, stomping him out. Oh, my God. Like, Luger, he's taking a beat in this damn match.
Yep.
And I never seen Luger really get beat up like that. I know Luger, he sells, but, geez, like, you never see Luger get manhandled like that.
He got destroyed. And the sad thing is Meng could have done that without help. Meng could have done that without help. But the fact that dude had already ate a chokeslam, it wasn't pretty at all. It wasn't.
Yeah. So Luger took a beating, and then it got to one point in the match where Meng went on the top rope, and he tried to, I'm not sure what he did, like a shoulder tackle. Luger sidesteps, but Meng got up like nothing, and just clotheslines and big boots to Luger. Like, like what the hell? Reminder. Luger has a match with Savage the following week, next week. If Luger loses, he's gone.
Yep. And right now he's getting his ass.
He's getting his ass whipped. And then it gets to the point where Meng, he goes in his boot and he spikes something right into Luger.
He pulls a spike out of his boot. And he nails Luger in the throat with it and gets the win.
Yeah. If y'all didn't know, Meng is the father of Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa.
Yep.
Yes. And Meng, he just got the win in this main event match against Lex Luger.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Crap. Yep.
Wow. Like I said, Luger has a match next week against Savage. He's beaten up. He can't win.
He has some problems. Put it like that. He has some problems for next week. You want to face Macho Man at 100%.
Oh yeah, you gotta bring it to Macho. You
have to bring it to Macho Man, and that I mean, and don't get me wrong, Macho Man caught some. He caught some after that match with Taskmaster. He did catch that fade.
Yep.
But you're talking about Lex caught that same fade, and then proceeded to get his ass whooped by me.
Yep.
And then he took a spike to the throat, and now he gets to chew on that for a week. So I would say it is safe to say that he is more worse for wear than Macho Man will be when that match comes up next week. Yeah, it was it was actually tough watching that match.
I thought Luger was going to come back and get the win.
It was just the comeback that just never showed up. It just never happened. He just got destroyed. There's no nice way to say it. He got his ass whooped.
So overall, what do you think about this Nitro?
It was definitely the worst of the four so far.
I think that the first two was definitely hot. The third, it kind of like slowed down. This one, nah.
Yeah, this one was not it. I started a segment last week called "What was the moment of the night," and so I'm going to ask you, my friend, what was your moment of the night?
Oof. That's pretty tough. I'm going through my notes. Oof. Moment of the night.
What was your moment of the night?
Besides the show ending and Luger getting beat up, I have to say the moment of the night is seeing Pitbull Pittman. That's crazy for me saying that. Pittman and Kurosawa.
That is wow. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the thing about everything you see in that 1 hour show, or Hogan with the neck thing, like, that was pretty funny too. Yeah. But
I want to just rip this off my neck. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, let's not even play. No, you don't. You don't want to rip it off your neck. You don't want to do anything like that. You don't want to make it... You don't want to do any of that. You want to just fake the funk like a nasty dump.
Seriously. So what was your moment of the night, man?
So, I had to look very long and hard to find my You know, I decided I was going to watch the show a second time to make sure that I was right in what my moment of the night was, and it would have to be when it ended, just like last week.
Yeah. Seriously. Oh, my God.
It was horrible. It was, like, at this point, you know, someone's now starting to think to themselves, how are we going to do 2 hours of this? Because they can't even do one. And like I said, the worst part of it is they started out so hot with the first episode. And then the second episode was not as good as the first, but good in its own right. And then the third episode was okay. But you're consistently lowering the bar every week. So, you know, at this point, if the bar is this low for episode 4, episode 5 is train wreck.
Actually, I got the card pulled up for next week. Yeah. I'll announce that. We actually got some better matches.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'll kick it off. Well, next week we have Lex Luger taking on Macho Man Randy Savage. If Lex Luger loses, he got to leave WCW.
Yep.
If you know the story of WCW, you know Luger ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
After that, we have Eddie Guerrero taking on Dean Malenko. We finally seeing some more cruiserweights, seeing two of the best cruiserweights.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko. And then we finally get the Nature Boy Ric Flair and Arn Anderson.
Yep.
That's it.
So, those are going to be some good matches. They are. Now, what I did say I was going to do, because quite frankly, this night needs it, is we're going to go over the dark matches that happened.
I got it pulled up too.
Because damn it.
Are you talking about for this show?
The dark matches that happened before or after Nitro.
Yeah. All right, go ahead. Let me hear it.
So, the first dark match was the Shark versus Mark Starr, which I think Mark Starr was that guy that got
Mark Starr was the guy.
That was the guy that got chokeslammed. Okay, so the Shark defeats Mark Starr. So that was the first dark match.
Trash.
The second dark match was the American Males versus Harlem Heat for the WCW Tag Team Championships, the rematch, which the American Males won. Why was this not on the show?
Wow. Yeah, they should have.
Why was this not on the show?
Come on, man. Bad placement.
The third match, the third dark match, the final dark match. Now, mind you, 4 matches for Nitro, 3 dark matches. The third dark match, Johnny B. Bad versus Diamond Dallas Page for the WCW World Television Championship. Oof. Are you kidding me?
Should put that on the title.
How does that not get on TV?
Yeah.
Like, who thought that we needed to see Kurosawa and Pittman over either of those 2 championship matches? And at this point, Diamond Dallas Page has not been on an episode of Nitro yet.
Nope. And he's not going to be on it next week either because he's going to be the dark.
Officially, Mark Starr officially is on Nitro tonight getting his ass whooped. The Shark was on last week and the week before. The American Males and Harlem Heat were both on last week. Johnny B. Bad was on last week.
Yep.
Diamond Dallas Page has not been on yet, and he is the WCW World Television Champion at that time. He's never been on the show.
Yeah. You want to hear something? He's not going to be on the show next week either. I already told you the matches. For next week, but he's on the dark show, the dark match. There's 3 dark matches for next week. Brian Pillman and Disco Inferno, which Brian Pillman won. The Dungeon of Doom of Mang and the Shark. They take on Jim Duggan and the Renegade.
Oh!
And then Diamond Dallas Page is defending his TV title against Alex Wright. Alex Wright getting so much burn right now.
Now, so let's. I'm going to ask the very obvious question right now. Okay, how does your WCW World Television Champion not have a televised championship match 2 weeks in a row?
The same way how Rhino ECW was when he was the TV champion. How the hell am I ECW champion? We ain't even got no damn TV network. One of the greatest promos ever. He just threw the back down, yo. Oh man, one of the greatest promos ever, yo. I love that. We ain't got no damn TV network. But nah, you're absolutely right though. Come on, at least
fucking golden.
At least DDP, let that man shine. At least Alex Wright, he been shining since like week 2. Brian Pillman been on TV every week. Come on now.
It doesn't make sense to me.
And where the hell is Sting?
Yeah, Sting was only on the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's it.
The first 2 episodes he was on. And I understand because it's an hour. You want to give different looks, but ultimately, if your big feud is the Dungeon of Doom versus Hulk Hogan at this point.
Yep.
All right. You have 2 matches. You have 2 matches that's taken up that feud. You really only needed 1. You could have very easily done anything. You could have had a promo. You could have had it set up any old way to have a promo to get Macho Man's ass whooped by the Giant. You could have done any of that. You didn't need 2 matches. You didn't need 2 matches to get the Giant, to get Macho Man and Lex Luger beat up. You didn't need all that.
No, you definitely didn't need that.
Yeah, it especially on an hour show, you really have to do better at monopolizing the time, getting some people out there that we know.
Too many promos.
I mean,
that's
even though Diamond Dallas Page at that point, Diamond Dallas Page isn't the DDP that we all know and love at this point. No. He's not him. Let's make it clear. He's not that guy yet. But at the same time, he is one of your champions, and as such, as one of your champions, he should be televised.
I agree.
End of story. And as much as we talked about how the tag team championships weren't on the show for the first 2 weeks, the fact that a television championship has not been on at all is kind of crazy. That's crazy to me.
Seriously. I don't know. Well, it is what it is, and
Yep.
we're 1 month in of Nitro, and we're about to hit October
Yep.
of Nitro. Going on month number 2, and we're gonna see where it picks up from there. That's all.
Yep. And so I'll definitely have it in the notes next week, but it is going out. It's going off at in Denver at the Denver Coliseum.
Yep, I got that. Denver, Colorado.
We will
Vader.
check. We will check the show to see if they actually announced that. Because they haven't. They haven't in a while now. So we'll check to see if they have that. But yeah, it's going to be in Denver next week. Like I said, we have the list of matches, and I mean, I don't know it. Well, actually, let's see. Because you said it's Luger, Savage, Ric Flair,
Eddie Guerrero, and Dean Malenko,
and Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko. So your first real look at your real first look at legitimate cruiserweights. Not to say that Alex Wright is not one.
it's just a different style compared to Eddie Guerrero.
But he was more. He was not the class of cruiserweight that Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko are. He's just not.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna get that type of cruiserweight action next week, which is always a hit. So I anticipate that match is going to be big, even though, yes, he's not the guy who's lying, cheating, and stealing. But hell, Eddie Guerrero, even back then, was incredible, and Dean Malenko was incredible.
Well, we definitely gonna see, because I'm looking at the timestamp.
Mm-hmm.
It was short.
Oh, great. Well, that was a WCW issue anyway. Was that they did and they didn't know what to do with their cruiserweights.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're gonna figure it out. So on to the next week.
Yep.
All right. Well, BDC, thank you.
Yep.
I appreciate it, man. Well, I'm Notorious One. I am Dom. I'm here with my man BDC all the way down in Delaware. We bring you the WCW Nitro Podcast, and we will see you next time. Boom.